Welcome to Samsun, Turkey, and the start of the 2018 Hyundai Archery World Cup Finals. This is the first time that we're bringing you this draw live on the Thursday evening ahead of this weekend's event, and there's a live audience here full of the athletes whose names you're about to hear. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me is Dutch international archer and the 2016 men's recurve silver medalist, Chef van den Berg. Now, the draw is going to be a random one where we determine the lineup for each of the quarterfinals in the 4 disciplines, and it will be conducted by 2 of our international technical officials. Now, we're going to get straight on with the draw, and we are going to start with the compound women's event. And we're going to start with the lineup. There you go. The top 2 seeds in each of our events will be separated in the draw, automatically posted top and bottom. And we will conduct a draw to place the remaining 6 athletes at random. So, we go along. So, our first athlete coming out of our bowl, Sophie Dodemont. So Alex, can you give the balls a bit of a shuffle around?
Linda Ochoa.
The Mexican who qualified by ranking will go up against France's Sophie Dodemont. Now, the draw is going to work where we're now going to fill the other half of that side of the draw, and as you can see from your caption, both athletes don't appear there yet. So, Alex, can we draw the first athlete in that second quarter-final?
Athlete number 5.
Which is Chen He-xuan.
Chinese Taipei, ranked 4th, also came through ranking after the World Cup series. And she will face
number 7,
which is Marcella Tonioli.
ranked number 7 for the tournament, and another one that came through the rankings after the World Cup series from Italy. So there we see confirmation, Chen up against Tonioli. Now we move on to the top half of the draw, and again it's empty, so our first athlete for the third quarterfinal in our draw will be
athlete number 4,
Yachim Bostan.
a host nation athlete who won the gold medal in Antalya here on home soil, and she goes into the first side of that draw and will go up against
number 6,
Which is So Chai-won.
a Korean athlete ranked number 6 for the tournament, comes through rankings. So there we go, it's Boston. We'll have the home crowd behind her here in Turkey up against So. And so on to the final athlete, and I think we all know who's going to face Sarah Lopez.
Giselle
8,
Elma Gachli.
And the other Turkish athlete who got the host nation spot will go up against the number 1 seed from Colombia, Sarah Lopez, who qualified by winning in Shanghai and Salt Lake City. So that completes the lineup for the quarterfinals in the compound women. Thank you very much, Alex, for your assistance there. Chef, great lineup here. We've got the final 4 matches for the quarterfinals. Anything jump out and grab you?
Well, we have a lot of exciting matches, I think, but what jumps out in my opinion is that the number 1 still has to shoot against the number 8, even though we did a draw.
A random draw, and the 2 Turkish athletes are in the same half of the draw as well, so if they both win they will face each other, so that will be an interesting lineup. And the bottom half of the draw?
We have a nice matchup between Sophie Dodemont and Linda Ochoa Anderson, who are ranked 2nd and 3rd in this World Cup final, so that should be a good match, I think. And yeah, of course I look forward to watch the match between Tonioli and Ye Jushan. If I pronounce that correctly, I'm sorry if I don't.
So here we have a confirmation of how the athletes could progress through and contest for the first gold medal here in Samsun. So, like I say, thank you very much to Alex for helping us out with the draw, and we're going to move swiftly on to the compound men's event now. And the lineup for this was Caesar, Mr. Perfect, your compatriot,
Yes.
Mike Schlusser, ranked number 1, going into the draw automatically at the top on the opposite side of the American athlete, Braden Gelantine. Our other 6 athletes will be drawn at random, as we saw for the compound women's event, and the draw will be conducted by Luca Stucci. Please welcome Luca to the stage. Thank you, Luca. Could you give those balls a little stir around? Make sure that we're picking these out at random. And the draw for the first athlete will be for the contestant who will go up against Braden Gelantine.
Number 3, who is Abhishek Verma.
The Indian athlete Abhishek Verma came through qualification as a ranked athlete and filling the first spot in the second quarterfinal. Number 5.
Stefan Hansen.
The gold medalist from Salt Lake City from Denmark, and he will go up against
8.
Number 8, who is Demir Elmagachli.
Host nation spot there for Demir El-Magachli, and we move on to the top half of the draw, and the
6.
first athlete will be
PJ Deloche.
Pierre-Julien Deloche from France, another athlete that came through ranking, and he will go up against
7.
Which is Kim Yong-ho.
Kim Jong-ho, the Korean athlete who won the gold medal in Shanghai right back at the beginning of the season. And just one more athlete to draw out, who's going to go up against Mike Schlusser of the Netherlands, who won in both Antalya and Berlin.
Yeah. Yeah, what's interesting to see is Mike Schlusser and Chris Schaaf have the number 1 and 2 average over the last couple of years, together with Kim Yong-ho, who is shooting against PJ Deloche. Stefan Hansen, who is obviously a well-known archer in the field, has to shoot against Demir Elmagachli, who is the winner of 2015, if I not believe, or if I believe correctly. And Braden Gelantine and Abhishek Verma would be a very exciting match to watch as well.
So there's confirmation: Schaaf against Schlusser, Kim against Deloche, Elmagachli against Hansen, and Verma against Gelantine. Also interesting that the 2 Americans are in opposite halves of the draw.
Yeah, so it would be possible to have an all-American final, so I'm sure the boys will hope for that.
Very good. So that is our compound draw complete. That both the quarterfinals are now set. So we will move on to the recurve events, and we're going to start with the women's event, and here's the lineup. Chang Hye-jin and Lee Hyun-gyong, the 1 and 2 seeds, will be put automatically into the draw, so the 2 Koreans will be top and bottom. And I'm going to thank Luca for staying on the stage as we draw the first athlete, who will go up against Lee. Again, if you could give those balls just a little stir around. So Lee's opponent in the quarterfinals.
Number 5, who is Ksenia Perova.
A Russian who won here in Antalya, so perhaps enjoys shooting in Turkey. And in the same half of the draw, we will have our first athlete, number 6.
Which is Tanya Ting.
An athlete from Chinese Taipei, qualified by ranking, and she will go up against our next drawn athlete.
4.
Who is Lisa Unruh.
The German who qualified by ranking as well. So Unruh goes in against Tan Ya Ting. And so we move into the top half of the draw now, also blank with no athletes in there at the moment. So we're going to select both athletes for that match. And first
7.
up,
Lei Chen-ying.
7.
another athlete from Chinese Taipei, also qualifying by ranking. And she will go up against
3.
Deepika Kumari.
And Deepika Kumari from India won in Salt Lake City earlier on this season, booking her place here in Samsun. So I think we all know who's going to face the number 1 seed, Chang Hye-jin.
Yasemin Anagosh.
And there we go, the number 8 coming out of the bowl. Thank you to Luca for his help for the draw there. So we've got our lineup complete there. Chang, against Anagosh will be an interesting one. Kumari and Lee, the all-Asian affair at the top half of the draw. Unru and Tan start at the bottom against Parova and Lee, but the two Koreans split across the draw there. And Chef, another 4 interesting draws.
Yeah, definitely. It will be interesting to see Ksenia Perova, as she has won a lot of stuff in Turkey already. She's won the last 2 World Cups in Antalya, if I'm not mistaken. Again, we see that the first-ranked archer is shooting against number 8 of the ranking, or the home crowd favorite. So, yeah, interesting to see.
Great little lineup there. Now, for those of you that are looking forward to the weekend's action, I can tell you that both sessions, or both Saturday and Sunday, are split into 2 sessions, with the women's event starting at 11 a.m. and that's local time to here in Samsun. And then the men's event will start at 3 o'clock, and we switch from the compound on Saturday to RECURVE Sunday, again with a session that starts at 11 o'clock, and then one that moves on, and we start a little bit earlier in the afternoon on Sunday at 12:30. So, Chef, we've done the draws so far, and we've got a lot of athletes here and a bit of reaction from the crowd. This is the very first time that we've done a draw here. You're an athlete that's competed in this event. What's it going to be like for these guys sitting out there?
I think we have a lot of nervous recurve men at this moment, because they still haven't had their draw. And I think, yeah, it's really fun for the archers to have a different kind of draw than normal, where you know who you're going to shoot against beforehand.
And we're getting a little view of some of the athletes in the crowd. Some of them have already been mentioned. I know you don't know, but if you think a camera's pointing at you, you're live on air here. So that's 3 of the 4. One quick question before we move on to the last event. I know I'm stalling you from getting to the event you're most interested in, but how was it like competing in this event in the finals a couple of years ago and standing on the podium?
I think it's already an accomplishment to be here, so congrats to all archers who are sitting here. And if you're here, you might as well go for it and try to make it all the way to the gold medal match.
Well, there you go. Good luck to everyone here. So one more draw to go, and I think we're ready to go with the RECURVE men's event. I think we've got the lineup coming up just very shortly. Here we go. Same as the other 3 events that we've done so far, and same again as the women's RECURVE. 2 Koreans at the top, Lee and Kim, separated in the draw, automatically going into the bracket for the quarterfinals, and we will select the other 6 athletes, and we welcome Alex Vecchio back onto the stage. Thank you, Alex. So, Alex, give those balls a little stir around, so making sure we're keeping it all random, and we'll have the first athlete out, who will go up against Kim Woo-jin.
Number 4.
Number 4, Steve Weiler.
An interesting matchup there. Kim won in Shanghai at the beginning of the season, and Steve Weiler from the Netherlands came through ranking. And in the same half of the draw, we've got the empty bracket again, so our first athlete there.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Mete Gazoz.
Local Turkish athlete, won in Berlin. And he will go up against our next drawn athlete.
Number 7.
Number 7 is Taylor Worth.
Our only Aussie here, going into the draw in the bottom half against Mete Gazoz. And Taylor Worth came through qualification as a ranked athlete. So we move into the other half of the draw. Again, a blank quarterfinal. So our first athlete, Alex.
8.
Number 8 is Fatih Boslar.
A host nation athlete here, perhaps the underdog, but with no pressure on him. It will be interesting to see who he's up against.
Number
6.
Brady Ellison.
Brady Ellison there, the USA athlete who came through as a ranked qualifier, goes up against the host nation athlete, Fatih Boslar. And of course, all we need to do now is determine who is going up against Lee.
Number 3.
Which is Mauro Nespoli.
So Lee won in Antalya earlier on in the season, but Mauro Nespoli, the Italian athlete, won in Salt Lake City. So we've got two champions in the series this year going up against each other, and that does indeed complete the draw. And here's confirmation of that lineup: Nespoli versus Lee Ellison up against Bosler, Worth against Gajos, and Weiler against Kim Woo-jin. Well, Chef, I know which one you want to talk about, but I'm going to remove that from your choice of options. I want you to talk about which one of the top three stands out.
I think Taylor Worth and Mete Gazoz, they have shot against each other in Berlin in the semi-final, if I'm not mistaken. That time it went to Gazoz. I'm sure Taylor wants to settle that a bit, so that might be a good match. And Mauro and Lee Woo-suk, they both won a World Cup this year, so yeah, it's interesting to see who will get this time.
And of course, Steve Vire going up against Kim Woo-jin, the Dutch athlete, going up against the Koreans, going to be a big one. But that does conclude the draw of the quarterfinals for our four disciplines coming up this weekend. The coverage starts with the compound events in the morning on Saturday, and we have a second session moving over to the men in the afternoon, and then it's the recurve events on Sunday, again with the women starting the action in the morning and moving on to the men's events in the afternoon. That's it from us here. Thank you so much for joining us, and Chef and I will be with you first thing on Saturday morning for the first live coverage.